Okay, so of course the name of the cut album is Aquarius. Look for it in your import section of your record store. Water under the bridge, let's go on. Big Chief is our little edited feature this week. Big Chief, of course, from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and really set in the tradition of Detroit, the Stooges, Funkadelic type stuff. They have a new album out right now. It's called Face. I believe it's only available in America, but it will be coming to Canada, carried by our good pals at Cargo. So you might want to look out from that. Who's Big Chief? Well, they're made up of Barry Hensler, who is, of course, from the Necros, and drummer Mike Danner, who, if you all remember, as being the ex-member of the Laughing Hyenas. Anyway, here's our feature this week. An interview that we did some time ago now, but somehow all comes around. Big Chief, City Limits.
Most heavy metal bands have like single-digit IQs, you know. And I like to think that, you know, while not the greatest intellectuals in the world, that, you know, we're a little brighter than that. And subject matter certainly isn't heavy metal lyrically, but it's crunchy, you know. There's guitars, and that's real important. Yeah, and I mean, there's certain heavy metal bands that we like, but. And you're getting dangerous when you're tagging us funk too, because when we were in Europe, the worst thing would happen is they'd go, oh, crunchy guitars and kind of funky beats. Oh, so you guys are like Faith No More, and we're like, we're nothing like Faith No More. So you're like Primus, you know, like no, we're nothing, you know, because it's there's almost a new genre of that, and we're way away from that. So, but I mean, yeah, there's truth to it as well.
I wanna take it down, I'll show her what I'm I guess I probably could not, for the fact that I probably should not. Buy all the good times spent for me. Friday night, on the spot time. Friday night, on the spot time.
I mean, that's another thing that's happened to us. They'd be like, well, you don't sound to me like Funkadelic, you know, and that's fine because it's an inspiration, you know. We don't mimic them, you know. We just happen to cover a couple of their songs and listen to them a lot. But I mean, you know, we could just as easily say that we were influenced by like a Garda by Miles Davis, even though we sound nothing like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite records, you know, so's Maggot Brain or, you know, Cosmic Slop or something by Funkadelic. So I don't know. I mean, it's there, but so's the Stooges, so's Black Sabbath. I mean, everything we grew up with, and you know. Well, for me, the main difference from my old band, the Necros, and now is that Big Chief's a lot more primal. It's a lot more direct. It's more what I wanted to do with the Necros, you know, in all honesty. But there's a lot of opposing forces, you know, involved in that. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's more interesting than what I was doing before, but I mean, you're gonna get that answer from anybody who's doing something now, who's been doing something for a few years, you know? So, I mean, to me, you know, the first three, as far as I'm concerned, Iggy Pop could have quit playing music after the first three Stooges albums, you know? But I mean, sure, he's gonna tell you that Instinct or Brick by Brick is a really great album, you know, and it's a total frisbee. Yeah! once again, it's just avoiding classification, you know? I mean, we didn't want to be called a sub-pop band. I mean, I love a lot of the records on Sub Pop. I'm not putting Sub Pop down. I think it's a great label. But, you know, you hear things Sub Pop, you think wah-wah, you know? It doesn't, you know, and we're not necessarily a long hair band, despite the fact we have 2 people in the band with long hair, you know what I mean? And we decided more to go with something like Get Hip because we'd get more personal attention, and I guess we'd have to earn our own notoriety rather than just go, oh, they're on Sub Pop, let's go check them out. But, you know, in Europe, that worked to our advantage because people knew about the Sub Pop single, so they're like, oh, you know, let's go see this band. You know, they're on Sub Pop, and that's fine, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, we get the best we get the best from being involved with Sub Pop without having to deal with, you know, a backlash or anything.
Something like that, Barry? How'd it sound? Can I hear it? Now comes the scary part.
Except the beginning, it's not like it. We're gonna have to redo the beginning.
Our guitar player, Mark, does all the artwork, and we kind of hash out what we want to do, we come up with a concept, and we talk about it, and it's kind of his interpretation of that concept. And we leave it to be like, we make suggestions, but we pretty much put it in his lap because we don't want to dictate what he has to do. But it's just like one more form of expression for us, you know, rather than the songs, you know, there's the artwork too.
But what it basically boils down to is that we're not exactly the happiest of people. So, you know, there's a bit of aggression to let out, that kind of thing. And it winds up being a way, well, hopefully, I mean, if everything works right, it winds up being a very visual thing too, because there's a lot of, you know, physical tension going on. And I mean, it's not to say that the music takes a back seat to that. I mean, supposedly they're supposed to work together, and I think we're pretty successful at that.
So the music...
It's just the punch, you know, the punch of like, of guitars and like drums going through PAs. It's, you know, that's physical too, you know. I mean, I've always looked at music as just a, you know, you're gonna have to bleep this out, but it's just a really direct way to say you know. Just 'cause I blew your mind,